Hello, hello. Good. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining. And as you join, if you can turn your cameras on, that will be awesome. Bring some energy in the room. We gotta get some music. Everybody keep telling me I gotta get music. So we gotta get some music in the room. Hey, Carrie. Hey, Christine. Hey, Connie
Hey, good
T.
morning, everyone. Good morning. Happy Saturday.
Morning. Be Saturday. And I hope I don't have to switch my computer. My computer is starting to act up again with the voice. So how's
I hear
everybody
you
doing?
fine.
I'm getting an echo on my end. I may have to swap. So Olga, I'm gonna let you continue and I'm gonna swap computers.
I can hear you fine. There is no echo.
I
I
can't
don't
hear
hear
you.
it. Huh.
Oh, you cannot. Okay.
You're sounding fine, at least on our end.
Yeah. No, she logged off. Okay.
Yeah.
She's probably that's okay. Good morning. Thank you for coming. Beautiful people on this Saturday, not Sunday yet. Saturday morning. How is it? How is it with weather where you are right now?
It's gray outside, but no rain. We had a very beautiful pink sunset or sunrise, though, all the
Oh,
way
wow.
across, pink.
Where are
I
you at?
remember from Michelle. Oops.
Montana.
Oh,
Where are you?
beautiful.
It's
I'm now
raining over here, very gray.
I
But
was
I
checking
remember
our.
from my childhood, when it's pink, it means it's going to be a very warm day.
Ah,
Let's see if it's true. Val, you wanted to say something.
Oh, I was checking our weather, our temperature. It's 56 in Albuquerque, but it's beautiful here. We have very, all around good temps normally.
Where are
But
you from?
Albuquerque, New Mexico.
Nice.
New Mexico, yeah.
New Mexico. Okay.
New Mexico. Are you
29
up in?
here this morning.
Oh, goodness. That's chilly.
Chilly.
Where are you at, Olga? Are you up in the Northeast?
Toronto, Canada.
Uh, oh, nice.
Diane is back, I believe. Are you? No. Yes? No? Okay.
Give me a second. I'm just want to fix my screen.
Okay. And people keep joining, which is very nice. Good morning for those who just joined us. Let's pretend we have very nice music right now and we can dance and we can say good morning, like move our bodies a bit. Oh, morning sunshine, enter into the waiting room. Who is that? I would love to know.
Okay.
Who is morning sunshine? Okay, the person is not known to us, but that's so cool. The name is very nice. Diane, welcome back.
Well, yes. I gotta just adjust my computer. I had to switch computers. Sorry, everyone. I try to use my other computer, but I don't know, something with the sound. It was acting up. But I just want to say thank you, everyone, for joining. We don't take this lightly because you can do whatever you want to do on your time, and time is really valuable. It's one of the most valuable commodities. And today, I just want to thank you all for joining, and I would love for you to come on camera to bring your energy. We have three amazing speakers, and ready to share with you. And Olga and I, we've been doing this now. It's going on over 5 years, and this started for me as a whisper. I was like, God, I know I want to speak, but I'm so scared of speaking, and it's not really something that I really want to do. But I want to create a safe space for speakers, And the next level you was born, which is now ascend your path. So our brand is ascend. It's all about ascending. So today we're gonna be ascending with Preet, who's she's so amazing. She's gonna share a lot with you. And we have Val Romero. She's from my other community, connected with her from Forbes' group. Hi, Val. And we have Drew, which is I'm so excited to hear from Drew and his message. And with that, I'm excited to really share this space with my co-host and business partner, Dr. Olga Kamina. Hey, Olga.
Good
You know,
morning.
and it's really great to do this. And let's put in the chat one thing that you're grateful for. What is one thing that you're grateful for? You know, it's so amazing. I love this necklace. This was a gift
Oh,
to me from one of our retreat participants, and it says gratitude. And every week someone says to me, I love your necklace. Because it's a reminder of what things we could be grateful for. So I know there's a lot. Diane holding space. Yes, yes, yes. So let me get a full view of my chat. Uh, did I share? No, I didn't. I don't want to share. I want to get the chat. So yes, so what else are we seeing? Holding space. I see breath of life. Waking up this morning. Absolutely. Sunrise. Yes. Friendships. So
beautiful.
amazing. So we got so much to be grateful for. This day is not promised to any neither of us. Okay, nature, human connection. So today with gratitude, we want to really inhale God's love. So before we even get a start, can we can you join me in just taking a deep breath just to get centered? And as you inhale that breath, just think about love and light. We need so much love in this world today. Okay, and it's our responsibility to bring that love. So as we inhale, just picture love and light. And as you exhale, all tension and toxicity, all the toxins, that word is always a tricky one for me, so I need not to say it, but toxins, release the toxins, whatever that does not serve you. So on the count of three, let's take a deep breath and just hold it for a few seconds and just exhale whatever does not serve you. 1, 2, 3. Inhale, hold it. Exhale it. Father God, we invite you into this space that you provide us with to share with people, with everyone from around the world. I thank you for this opportunity to live on purpose, to be on purpose. And I know I don't take anyone here for granted because they could be doing whatever they want to do on this Saturday morning. So we just want to say thank you, God. Speak to us and through us. And let us leave here with a blessing. Amen. So we're going to start today by introducing Preet. Okay, and I guess Olga, if Olga feels, housekeeping rules, or you're busy, I can do the housekeeping rules. What do you say, Olga?
No, I can do them. So, welcome again. Thank you, Diane, for your amazing introduction, as usual. Thank you for the prayer. And we are going to run our call for about 2 hours until noon Eastern time. And we are not going to have any breaks. So feel free to do whatever you would like. You are all muted upon entry. You can unmute yourself. However, please keep yourself muted so you won't disturb the audience when our speakers are presenting. If you have any questions, you can ask them in the chat. or you can hold until the presenter is done with their talk, and you will have time to ask them questions. This is it.
Okay, great. Well, thank you for that, Olga. And today, our first speaker is Preet. And I just want to say, I had my information up on another computer, so let me just, you see my head turn is because I'm looking at another computer. As a matter of fact, I can read it from here. So I just want to, Preet is so qualified at what she does. And I'm so excited. We've known each other for a few years, and she's always amazing to talk to. I am always enlightened. So, Preet, I'm so grateful that you decided to share your message on this stage, Ascend Your Path. To tell you a little bit about Preet, she is a educator, a registered level 2 Kundalini Research Institute instructor. She is also an educator. She's a registered yoga teacher. So she has these great initials. And the initial is E-RYT 500, which is a big deal in the yoga world. She can talk a little bit more about that. But the main thing is that she has served for over 30 years as a dedicated yoga practice teacher. Her journey started in 1991 through her studies. She has deepened her understanding of the profound connection between breath, body, and emotional well-being. Throughout her teaching career, Preet has shared over 1,000 hours of yoga instruction, cultivating a thoughtful and integrative approach to teaching. She draws from a wide range of practices to support students in developing awareness, balance, and inner resilience. Preet has a new book that's going to be coming out soon, and she's going to talk a little bit about this. The name of the book is Miracle Healing: How I Found God Through Yoga. So welcome to the Ascend Your Path virtual stage, Preet. Thank you for joining.
I'd like to say good morning to everyone, and thank you to Diane and Olga for making this happen. I'm very curious who's in my audience today, because I'm going to gear my talk to the responses I get to the next couple questions. So be ready to put a little yes, like a little Y. You don't have to type the whole yes or a no in the chat box, okay? So my first question is, have you done yoga before? So any kind of yoga. We just put a Y. You can just put yes or a Y. Good. That's very good. No. Hey, wow. Oh, excellent. Okay. How many people have done Kundalini yoga? It's a specific kind of yoga. Good. Okay. How many people have known someone who have suffered themselves from a serious mental illness? Could be someone in your family, could be a good friend. Yes. Okay. So I'm going to talk today about Kundalini Yoga and mental health and how those two things can go together. So a little bit about my background. I think first with the mental health. When I was 23 years old, I have to push, I gotta do my timer, sorry. When I was 23 years old, I suffered from a very bad postpartum depression. So bad that I abandoned my children with their dad. And doing that was a horrible thing to do for my own heart, but I did not want to grow up to be like my mother. My mother suffered from paranoid schizophrenia and manic depression. And from the time I was small, I heard things and saw things that no small child should ever see, which really confused my mind. And by the time I was about 10, I had weird noises in my head. And I remember praying and praying for days to have this go away. And that actually went away. So I was very happy about that. So after leaving my children, and I got a job, but I was unable to keep the job because I was so depressed. I would have fired myself. So I was homeless then, which was a very interesting kind of existence in a way, because I have to say I was more comfortable being homeless with those kind people than I was living in my own home as a child. My home as a child was not comfortable. There was nothing comfortable about it. So that was kind of a nice experience. I met a lot of nice people, and they were all kind, and most of them believed in God. And I grew up in a Catholic church, but it was a very condemning Catholic church. All we ever really heard about was going to hell and how horrible of sinners we were. So even as a small child, we were sinners, and the whole parading around that they do pre-Easter with the Stations of the Cross in the Catholic Church. If you know anything about the Catholic Church, they do Stations of the Cross, and you go around and you watch Jesus be crucified, and at like 6 years old, really, and then we're told that he died for our sins. So I had this horrible kind of growing up with the Catholic Church, and whether or not I was going to go to heaven or hell, and I certainly was probably going to go to hell. And by the time I was 15, I was definitely destined to hell because I was raped. And you have to be a virgin to go to heaven, or you have to be a virgin when you're married to be considered like pure enough to go to heaven. So, but that really messed with my mind. From the age of 15 until I was 23, my brain went wacko. By the time I was 40, I could jump way ahead, I was on 9 psychiatric drugs. And I had so many voices in my head telling me how horrible I was, telling me that I should kill myself, telling me all kinds of awful things. My brain was so busy telling me what to do, I couldn't even pay attention to a conversation. So I would be talking to someone, or someone would be talking to me, and I wouldn't hear a word they said. Sometimes I'd have to go, I'm sorry, I just don't know what you were talking about. And I'm standing right there. So I found yoga at 40, the really good yoga, I would say. I was doing like practice of yoga, hatha yoga, taking some yoga classes. I discovered I was very unflexible. I was a power lifter. Imagine that. How tough can you be, right? And I was a runner. I could easily run 6 miles, which means I could run away from anyone. So all of my body was a defense. And I found a yoga class, and I could get down to my knees. They wanted me to touch the floor. I couldn't touch the floor. I couldn't do a squat. Are you kidding? I could do I looked like I was sitting in a chair, but I certainly couldn't drop. So I did regular yoga for about 10 years to add to my body, really, right? My defense. And then I found Life Force Yoga by Amy Weintraub. And Amy Weintraub was the first person to give me kind of hope that I could change my brain, because my brain was offline. It was not okay. There was nothing good happening up there. And even if you were a nice person, I would think that you were thinking bad things about me. People who were talking over there, I would think that they were talking about me. If I met someone on the sidewalk, if I was going to pass someone on the sidewalk, I actually had to cross over. I had agoraphobia so bad, I was thanking God when the credit card came out, because now I could put gas in my car, because there were days I couldn't go in and pay. So yoga to me is just like the salvation for my brain. You can totally rewire your brain with yoga. There are so many things that you can do. But you need a royal yoga as far as I'm concerned. So Kundalini yoga is a royal yoga. A royal yoga is a yoga that includes all the 8 limbs of yoga. And the 8 limbs of yoga are breathing. I have notes. I'm going to just flip my page because I don't want to miss anything. I do get a little bit nervous doing this. But so we have our body postures that we use in yoga, so we can like bend, and this helps to get rid of toxins, right? We bend forward. We get rid of a lot of toxins in the body. We do all kinds of acupressure things. So interesting. This changes our energy. The goal of yoga, by and far the biggest goal of yoga, if we go way back in history, was to sit and to meditate. So the big fancy word asana, which is the end of every Sanskrit body position, like Tadasana, they all end in asana. That word asana actually means to sit. So if we can sit quietly without all this horrible body energy, no anxiety, no depression, and clear our minds, then we can meditate. And when we can meditate, we can get close to God. Now there's a lovely thought from someone who grew up a Catholic, who, as a small child, I thought that little angels were great. They were actually my best friends, protected me from a lot of things. And I had a little bit of a relationship with God until I was raped, and then I just was out. So to be able to sit and communicate with God is just the most delightful thing, I have to tell you. But we have to be able to clear our bodies and our minds. So the energy of our body must be out of the way. We must be able to sit comfortably and not be uncomfortable in our bodies at all. It's almost like they don't exist. Right? And then the brain has to be totally clear. So another limb of yoga is the breath work. And I love to share this breath work. I think the last time I spoke, I shared this breath work, which is called snake breath. It's one of the easiest breaths in the world. And I would like you all to try it, because if we're not breathing, like if our bellies are not moving when we breathe, we're not really breathing. We're creating a lot of tension up here, and we're like sipping breath. And then we get tension back here, and then we go to massage therapists and go, oh, my neck is sore, here is sore, right here is sore. Everything is sore up here because we're breathing like this all day long when we should be breathing here. So if we do snake breath, our elbows will actually move out and it will expand your ribs. So if you put your hands on your ribs and you stack your teeth and then pretend you're a small child, because you want to make a snake sound. It's called sitali breath as well. It's like a fancy word. But you stack your teeth and you go. And if you look at the bottom of the screen, you will see my hands move out. Now we can learn to do that more quietly. So it's still working, right? And then you can learn to do it without stacking your teeth. So my ribs will still move without making any noise. Pranayama, it's a big word they use in yoga. They'll tell you it's breath work. It is breath work, but really it's energy work. When it boils down to the very end of it, we're working with our energy. We're trying to calm our energy. So we have to have not only body positions to get rid of toxins, then we have to have breath work. All of this is included in one class. Pratyahara, now there's a fancy word. Pratyahara is a total withdrawal of your senses. Imagine that. Somebody who suffered from PTSD. I had a lot of diagnoses, I gotta tell you. Some of them were pretty creepy. But in the end, I ended up with a good label stuck on me called PTSD. And I'll take that one because it's curable. But so Pratyahara, back up. So if you have PTSD, there is no way you can relax. No way. You hear everything, you see everything, you can't even close your eyes. But when you get deep enough into yoga and you start to trust in the world and trust in your body, you can not only close your eyes, you can close off your senses. You can close off your senses so much so that when you meditate, you do not feel the air temperature around you. And I have done that before. In a 3-hour meditation, I came out of it because the alarm went off. And I was freezing, but I didn't know it prior to that. So when you're in meditation and your brain waves are like this, oh, how lovely is that compared to, all kinds of voices going on, or just worry, worry, worry all the time. People even in big offices, like office people who work all the time, their brains are very, very busy all the time. They can hardly sleep, right? So it's not just for people with mental illness, but it's for all people, because we need to be able to calm ourselves down, right? So we have our asana, our body work. We have our breath work. We have pratyahara. Just imagine that, if you could just cancel out the whole world around you. And then we get into this focus. And most of the time in Kundalini Yoga, the whole practice is done, all of it, with your eyes closed and your focus right here. And when we do that, we put just a little bit of pressure from our optic nerves onto our pituitary gland. And you can try it. Just close your eyes and look up a little bit, and you'll see it's a bit more relaxing, unless, of course, you have some kind of PTSD and you don't want to close your eyes, right? You can also look down at your chin, and that's a whole nother energy. And then there's another one that's at the top of your head. It's called the 10th gate. Try that one. Close your eyes and look straight up. That's an amazing one as well. So in Kundalini classes, we use they're called dristis, places where you put your eyes, so that your energy is different and the release of chemicals from your pituitary is different. When you get all that together, so now you're sitting comfortably, you're breathing, and eventually you don't breathe. Isn't that wild? We always think we need to breathe in yoga, but eventually in a deep yogic state, these people are not breathing. Probably seen maybe on Facebook or something, some guy from the Himalayas sitting there in the snow, like with a little groin cloth on. And his fingernails are like grown crazy, right? If they put a mirror under his nose, he's not breathing. It has to do with the air pressure around us. And it's like being in it's like an iron lung. I can't remember the word right now. I got a concussion a couple weeks ago, and I still have a little bit of weird stuff going on in my head. But I forget words. Anyway, it's a place they would put people. It's called an iron lung back in the old days, and it would breathe through your body. So they're breathing actually through their body somehow. And I've gotten into that state before where I'm not breathing. I don't know how long I wasn't breathing, but then I'm like, oh my God, I'm not breathing. Which we jar ourselves out of these perfectly great meditative states by thinking we need to be breathing when meditating. We don't need to be breathing when meditating. As a matter of fact, let it go. See if you can let it go. If you're like, oh, I need to breathe, then you're back out again. So that is part of it. And then, so you get into this complete, it's called meditative absorption, dhyana, just totally meditating. And when you do that, it's so easy to just like leave your body and hang out with God. I call it my Heavenly Father. My Heavenly Father was awesome, or is awesome. Very friendly, very loving, very peaceful. I want to like spend an hour, just even 10 minutes, feeling complete love. When you feel like you're completely loved, even only 10 minutes, can you imagine like just soaking in it for an hour? We might not have enough time to do that. And I don't know. It's not a goal of mine to sit every day for 3 hours. Some people like to do that. I don't have that much time, but 10 minutes of complete and absolute love, I just can't pass it up. And then what if you can, and what if you really are hanging out with God, right? I think we are. When we're meditating, I believe that. So am I going to say to God, I'm sorry, I don't have time for you. I just don't have time today. I'm not gonna do any kind of yogic practice, and I'm not gonna sit down and meditate with you. I'm not gonna hang out with you today. Some days I do that, but I do talk to God in my head throughout the day, thanking God for strange things like great parking and beautiful day and a wonderful sunrise. So, all right. So that's the goal. Now, since I grew up a Catholic, I have lots of issues. And I heard a lot of the Old Testament as a kid. There's some, I think they're kind of awful stories in there, but they tell in a way that Jesus is coming. So if you believe in Jesus, there it is. It's like it's predicting that he's going to come. Okay. So I do have Bible verses in my book because I have people in my family still who believe I'm like a devil worshiper. But the yogic text and the biblical text are so alike that I can't just not put it in there. And I want, like, these people who think that yoga is satanic to understand that it's not, right? So let me just give you a few examples. Oh, all right. You might have heard this before. It's, oh, look at that. I forgot the actual person who wrote it. I got the chapter and the verse number here for you. It's probably Matthew. Chapter 11, verse 28 through 30 says, "Come to me," I love this, "all who are weary." Isn't that nice? "Burdened, and I will give you rest." This is a lovely sentence. Who's going to give me rest when I was crazy and homeless and totally unloved? Someone's going to give me rest. "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me." So the word yoke in yoga is huge. And huge means to unite. And it means yoga. So if you read it like that, take my yoga or my practices. Jesus taught people how to meditate. It's in a lot of it's in the Gnostic text, not agnostic. Agnostic is against, but there's such a thing as the Gnostic text. It's Gnostic, I think. And these were chapters from people like Mary Magdalene, Matthew, Mark, that were cut from the Bible. It talks about the light of the body. There's a lot of interesting things that have been cut from the Bible. And I believe in the Bible, and I believe in everything that Mary Magdalene had to say. I don't know why she's not in there. But anyway, it says, "Take my yoke upon you and learn from me, for I am gentle and humble in heart, and you will find rest for your souls." Oh my God. I just was like, really? "For my yoke is easy and my burden is light." Wow. Okay. I can learn from Jesus. Jesus led by example. He would get up early in the morning, even after a very busy day, and go out and meditate. So there's 2 verses that say that I have found. There's probably a lot more. I'm not the big Bible thumper. I just try to find things that are the same. So in yoga, they'll call it the ambrosial hours. Ambrosial hours are 2.5 hours before the sun rises. Get up, do some meditation, move your body. Well, actually, we take a cold shower first, which is something to get used to. You don't have to, but it's really good for you, and it gives you some great dopamine. So you get up in the ambrosial hours. It's beautiful. It's quiet. You can feel the presence of God. The stars are out there. You can watch the sunrise, right? So you get up early, you move your body, you start meditating. You can feel the sun beginning to rise. You can open your eyes after hanging out with God, and there's a present every day. Every day you get a beautiful sunrise. All right, so it says, Mark chapter 1, verse 35, and I didn't even know how to read these things when I first discovered the Bible. "Very early in the morning, while it's still dark, Jesus got up, left the house, and went off to a solitary place where he prayed." Right? And then Luke 5:16, "But Jesus often withdrew to lonely places and prayed." So he was leaving all those people behind to go have some alone time with his Father. And when people ask him, like, how should we pray? He said to do the Lord's Prayer, which is, "Our Father who art in heaven." He doesn't say, pray Jesus' Father who's in heaven. He says, "Our Father." This is all of our Father. It's everybody's, not just mine. It's everybody's. So And then there's another, I love this. So it says in the Bible, but when you pray, go into your room and close the door and pray to your Father who is unseen. So it's not your other one. It's not your earthly father. It's your heavenly Father. Then your Father who sees what is done in secret will reward you. Well, if we go back into the Greek word, many scholars used to think that Matthew wrote in Hebrew or Aramaic, but now they've all decided he actually wrote in Greek. So imagine translating something when you don't even know what language it was to begin with. But if we go to the Greek word for room, so it says, go into your room, right? Room is tamalon, which means an inner room or a secret chamber. So it's not like a room, it's an inner room. So inside yourself, go inside yourself. But when you pray, go into your room, close the door, and pray to your Father who is unseen. So it's the same as meditating. We go inside so that we can meditate. So, and then I love this one. And I love this because it's to me it's important because what version of the Bible you read, you get different words. I didn't really know this. But this one kind of made me angry because there's many things that the people that run the churches don't want us to know. And I hate to say it that way, but if everybody knew that we could hang out with God just on our own by practicing what we've been taught by Jesus and other yogi people, right? If we all knew that, we wouldn't have to go in there. Well, going to church is nice. They should just say going to church is nice. Come on anyway. You can visit with God all week long if you want, but come to church for some fellowship. We're going to sing. We're going to make ourselves feel good, right? But this verse, this one's from the King James. Okay? It says, the light of the body is thy eye. Boom. Thy eye. Doesn't say your eyes. Thy eye. If therefore thy eye be single, it's very specific, right? Right here. Thy whole body will be full of light. And that's Matthew chapter 6, verse 22. Well, if we get rid of the idea that we should meditate, and we really shouldn't go into our inner room, we could say, in the new book, the New International Version, we could say, the eye is the lamp of the body. If your eyes are healthy, your whole body will be full of light. What a clever change. To me, it's clever because it doesn't say one eye. And when you meditate, you look right here. And this is special to get those hormones from your pituitary moving. All those beautiful chemicals that you can get. And even if you just sit and look right here, comfortably, we're not like straining our eyes up there, comfortably looking here, then you can start to meditate. And it's here in the Bible. I love that. So a little bit on Kundalini yoga because it's so much different than regular. So in regular yoga, you've seen people on the TV, you know, they're doing like triangle pose. They do warrior 1, warrior 2. They've got all these things. I was a Hatha yoga instructor for about 12 years prior to learning Kundalini. So Hatha yoga, once we learn all the different positions, we creatively string them together in a way that will keep you, the person who's doing it with us, entertained enough in your brain so you can be quiet for a little bit. Because you have to pay attention. You have your foot here, this other foot is back here, it's turned this way, your arms come out this way, one the parallel to the ground. There's all kinds of things that we do. And then we move creatively to another position, and we go on, and we completely keep you absorbed in our movement, right? And you're moving your body. Kundalini yoga is not designed that way. It is designed to move energy up your spine. And, oh, I forgot. There's actually some biblical verses about that, but not today. It's in the book. Okay, got to read the book. So Kundalini yoga will design a set of exercises. They're written down. There are about 6,000 of them. Today we're doing one in class for the endocrine glands, for the adrenals. So if you're feeling kind of like you don't have energy, then you could do this Kriya, and you might do this specific Kriya for 40 days, and it will help to fix your adrenal glands. Okay? So, for example, let's say we just want to move energy up our spine. Okay? We might start off, first of all, if I was going to try to get some great energy, I would block my left nostril, and I would breathe through the right side. It's called right nostril breathing. When you use your right nostril, you engage your left side of your brain, which I'm totally backwards on my screen now. And the left side of your brain is your one with energy, and it's very analytical. So if you want to get some energy and you want to be very analytical, you want to be breathing out your right nostril. And this is so confusing. So you would block the left one, so the right one is working. So they would just do this, and we'd do this for like 3 minutes, and everything is timed. Right? Then the next exercise might be to do pelvic rotation, because now I'm moving energy at the base of my spine. Right? All right? And then the next exercise, we'd pause, and in between most exercises in Kundalini, not all of them, but most exercises, some of them are very energetic, we go right into long, deep breathing. So in between exercises, we'll do long, deep breathing. When we do that long, deep breathing, we train ourselves that whenever we have any kind of stress, it could be the traffic stress. When we train ourselves that we have stress, we go right into long, deep breathing. Every time I just love a red light because I get to do long, deep breathing. And I've got my husband doing it now too, because what's the point of, I'm not going to be there on time, right? No, long, deep breathing. All right, so we did our pelvic rotation. Now we might do one's called camel ride, and you move this part of your body right here. So we're moving energy up our spine. It's kind of like cat-cow, but it's seated. If you know cat-cow, spine comes forward, spine goes back. Spine comes forward, spine goes back, right? And then we might do something like this. And we're using acupressure a lot in Kundalini Yoga. I have some of that in my book, but look at this one. If these are our energy fields, they're called meridians, and we point them down toward the heart. We've now taken the energy off of our hands and we've pointed it to the heart, and we stick our thumbs around the back. You keep your triceps parallel to the ground, and you move here. And you might do this for 3 minutes, and you're breathing. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. Once you finish that for maybe 3 minutes, and all of them are timed, you would stop for a moment, do some long, deep breathing, or not. It depends on the Kriya. And we might do some head rotation. Now we're moving up through the throat chakra. And then we go the other way. Now, how do we get it out the crown of our head? I'm going to have to duck for this one. So there's a hand mudra used in Hatha Yoga. I got 30 seconds according to my clock. It's called Jupiter Mudra. It looks like this. Jupiter Mudra is used in something called Sakriya in Kundalini Yoga. If you take this position, put your hands in this position. So here's the church, here's the steeple, right? Remember that from a kid? Take that thing and point it away from you, and you'll feel how it draws negative energy off your body. You never want to do that to another person. Just, oops, I got to turn me off. I promise I'll be done in the next 30 seconds. Drop it here. So then they would take their arms over their head like this, and we're going to do, it's called Satnam, means this is our truth. Truth is our name. And you suck your belly every single time, and you go, Sat-nam, 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 Sat-nam. And then you do that for maybe 3 minutes. That affects your vagus nerve for sure, because every time you flex your stomach, you're snapping your vagus nerve. There's such a thing called a vagus nerve stimulator. If you're very super depressed, you can have one installed in your body. or you can do breath of fire or Sat Kriya. Sat Kriya also should move your tailbone just a little bit, so your spinal fluid is refreshed up through the brain a lot faster than it would be in a normal life. So, thank you. I hope that was good. I hope you learned something, and I will take questions. If anybody has any questions, I'd love to see if I could answer them, and if I can't, I'll get back to you. But thank you.
Preet, would you like to talk about your book and ask people to sign up?
Oh, yeah. So my book is called Miracle Healing, How I Found God Through Yoga. And I'm offering 20 free books. Should be coming out June, I would think. Could be July. And then after that, it's like $2.99 for the next people that sign up, okay? So the sooner you sign up, the better. And Olga's going to put that up for me, I believe. And you can also get a hold of me if you have any questions. You're like, oh, I didn't understand that at all. I'm happy to answer questions through the chat. And I've got to turn this off.
So Jean had asked the question, what type of yoga is called? I put it in the chat. It's called Kundalini Yoga.
I'm sorry, what type of yoga is what?
What type of yoga you were referring to?
Oh,
So I put it in
it's Kundalini Yoga as taught by Yogi Bhajan. And a few years ago, there was some bad press about him. And this is what I have to say about that. Einstein was not the best family man. But we did not throw out the theory of relativity because of that. So the teachings are great. Perhaps the man wasn't so wonderful. But the Kundalini Yoga that he taught can change you so quickly. It's like a rocket ship to rewire your brain. Did I get that one? I hope.
I think iPhone is Jean. She said, I would love to have your books. The link is in the chat. And the replays are going to have the link to all of the free offers. Okay.
How do you spell a couple of those words? Like, Pratyahara. Okay, Pratyahara is P-R-A, I won't spell it right, P-R-A-T-Y-A-H-A-R-A. And I'll put it in here.
Okay. So as Preet is taking care of that, I just want to say thank you, Preet, for such a great demonstration of yoga and such enlightenment. So Mary put in the chat, this was really great. You know, it was enlightening for her. And for myself, especially the one that you did like this, I could feel it because my tension is always in my shoulders. And now I understand that it's the way I breathe. I need to do more deep breathing.
Right.
You know? So they always tell, whenever I go up to get a massage, they say, oh, you got rocks back there. You know?
Yes. Those are accessory breathing muscles. When our shoulders go up and down, we're using all this to breathe when all we need is this.
Yes. And I'm glad I just finished reading a book called The 7 Laws of the Mind. And I forgot the name of the author. But anyways, and he talked about meditation, and he said he referred to it as to sit. And that was the first time I heard it mentioned like that.
Yeah.
And now you said it today. So I just finished the book yesterday, and you talk about to sit. And for me as well is, you know, so as you say that, you know, coming on time. So what quick advice can you give us in order to, because we're always talking about we can't focus. What advice can you give us to help us to clear the mind during meditation?
You can use just 2 words. There different traditions use different things, but Sat Nam. So when you breathe in, you hear in your head Sat, and when you exhale, Nam. Sat Nam, and it's spelled funny. They always spell everything.
And what does that mean?
True identity, true name.
True
this
identity.
is our true being, this peaceful state that we are. Sat Nam. It means truth and name. Those 2 words, they're direct translation. But when you're breathing in, you just think Sat, and then when you exhale, Nam. And then if you start thinking about the grocery store, you are definitely not thinking Sat Nam. So you go back to thinking Sat Nam and breathing. And then also your chair is the most important thing. And I teach anybody who can sit like in lotus position or any comfortable cross-legged thing where their knees are down can sit on the floor in my class. Otherwise, we sit in a chair to meditate. There's nothing wrong with sitting in a chair to meditate. You just don't sit back. There's no lazy sitting. You have to sit up straight, chin's parallel to the ground. You can sit like this and meditate for 3 hours. No pain in your body. If you sit cross-legged, your feet go to sleep. Your knees will hurt. Then you're back in your body. So I'd say get the book. There's a lot of good stuff in there. There's a lot of good Kundalini in there. There's a lot of good back and forth between the Bible. I have one chapter that's really much that. So, and then if you're not into that, you could skip it. But then there's a chapter for people who are seriously depressed. Like, how do you actually get yourself out of bed?
Wow. So listen, Preet, I thank you so much. I'm excited for your, for your book when it's released. And I do have to say we were excited about publishing your book as well.
Thank
So
you.
so we are truly excited for doing that. And also, wow, I got so much from this because when you talked about people with PTSD, how the healing part of it. I was in the store and a balloon popped and the guy screams. I was like, "What's going on?" And he went off. And now I realize it's because of the balloon. The
Yes.
PTSD came back.
You can
He
ask my
reacted to
husband.
that.
I occasionally do this still.
Yes.
Like somebody honks the horn on the Walmart thing. What?
Yeah.
But I'm much better. Preet HarDeva is my full name. Preet HarDeva Kaur, which is a name given to me by the Kundalini Research Institute. It was given to me as a name that I could live up to. It wasn't something that I was. It means beautiful, creative goddess. And when I first got the name, I went, oh, no. And now I'm like, oh, I kind of like it. So, thank you.
Loving it. Well, thank you so much. So is there any questions for Preet before we go to our next guest?
Hi, good day, everyone. This is Andrea from the Bahamas. I'm just wondering, is there a particular time during the day to do yoga or any time that you find?
Any time that you find is wonderful, but the best time to do it is before the sun rises. It's beautifully quiet, the stars are out, you can feel the presence of God. Those are called the ambrosial hours. A lot of people wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and think that's a horrible thing. But if you get up, take a cold shower, go ahead, and then start doing yoga, the sun will be rising and you'll have enjoyed that. I used to think, oh my God, what's wrong with me? It's like 3:22, 3:22, 3:22. According to Ayurvedic medicine, that's when we should get up. And according
At
to yoga.
3:22?
Well, it's about that time.
Oh.
Somewhere, some odd time in the morning where you're like, really, I should be sleeping. No, not necessarily.
I'm glad you mentioned that because I was doing when you start dialing and really doing that inner work, and you talked about the inner work, right? The numbers it came to me, and that was 3 a.m. And I said, God, I don't know about that. To me, I don't know about getting up at 3 a.m. every morning, but I could do it on Sunday mornings. And my clock is already set because I'm usually up by 4:30. So my clock is already set for 3 a.m. for tomorrow morning, so I don't forget.
Even
And
4:30, if you're up at 4:30, that's great.
yeah,
You got an hour and a half, right?
yeah.
Yeah.
So thank you so much for sharing, and I'm so grateful. Thank you so much for your gift, and your book is going to be out soon, and you can definitely come back and share some more when you have that physical book in your hand.
Oh, thank you so much. And you guys have a nice day. I'm going to teach a class now, so
Thank you so much, Preet.
thank
Oh,
you.
wasn't that fantastic? Look at that breath work. So the energy, right? And I'm learning a lot about energy because, I was taught that also that it was evil. And now I'm learning that, Jesus always left the crowd and he went to meditate. So, so many things that I had to unlearn, from growing up. I grew up Seventh-day Adventist. So it's had some unlearning to do. Wonderful information, great way to start my day. Yes, thank you, Christine. So next up on the deck, we have my dear friend, Val Romero. Val and I met a couple of years ago, and we've traveled a bit together. We shared some wonderful space. I can say we partied together as well. We
We
even went
danced.
to, we danced, yes, had fun. But
Yeah.
Val is so amazing with the work that she does. And I just want to share a little bit about what Val does. And I'm so excited because the work she does really helps us as network marketers. I wouldn't say network marketers because we're in the space of networking. So anyone who networks, Val is your gal. So
Thank
Val
you.
is known as no really known for one thing above all else, making people feel seen, remembered, and connected. As a master connection expert with over 25 years of experience, she helps entrepreneurs like myself turn everyday networking into meaningful, result-driven relationships. Val is the founder of the Women Make a Difference, a long-standing community where professionals grow their businesses, expand their visibility, and build genuine connections that last. Her topic today is Stop Being the Best Kept Secret, the four S's that turn networking into opportunity. So let's bring to our Ascend Your Path virtual platform my dear friend, Val Romero.
Thank you, Diane. The other thing you didn't mention, and I've forgotten because we didn't do this full circle as we could and we always can, is we were put together as partners at a live uh, Forbes Factor Live is what it was called with our mentor Forbes Riley, um, and we had to stare at each other for 7 minutes in the eye. I mean, this is a woman I'd seen on screen. I never, and Diane, that was so beautiful, wasn't it? We saw each other. She was like my grandma from way back. I don't know what it was, but it was about this time last year, maybe a couple weeks off, but April last year. Anyway, we didn't stay as partners because we're both busy gals, but that doesn't mean we weren't in heart, right? I mean, to me, you're like a heart sister. So I love that. And I loved Preet's presentation. I never thought, and I wish I would have spoke up while she was here. I never thought of yoga into the Bible. It's pretty incredible. I do yoga. I do a couple days a week, but not Kundalini. I've heard of it, but it's just nice to hear that it really something can change the way you breathe, the way you think, the way you calm yourself down, all that stuff. So I love that. It was a great first start. So you're very great about pulling speakers together and letting them have the visibility and lining them up in a flow that makes sense. So I love networking. That's my jam. I love connecting people. I am an extrovert, but I also learned another word. Maybe you've heard of it, ambivert. That means you're a little bit of both, extrovert and introvert. So an extrovert can be out, can be, we don't like Zoom necessarily because we want to be doing multitasking. We want to be doing other stuff because we can't sit still. Introverts, a little tougher. They like the Zoom. So I'm going to talk about Zoom. I'm just talking about the visibility wherever you are. The first part is actually showing up. So over the last 25 years, I did create Women Make a Difference. It's a long-standing, as Diane mentioned, networking community. In fact, we had our April luncheon yesterday, and I had about 35 people there, a couple guys, mostly women. I always praise the men because I say you're brave and you're smart because women make most of the decisions. So you're smart for showing up. So I acknowledge them. But this is bringing people together with a mini vendor fair, a expert keynote speaker was about AI and being the unfair advantage was fantastic. And just this year, after 25 years, I put myself in the audience incredibly hard. I let my MC run the show while I'm sitting there thinking, she should have said this. I wanted to say this. And it's, so if any of you have passed the torch on something that you're doing, because we can't do everything. But it was a beautiful luncheon, and I just get reminded every time of the kudos that come to me about my energy and making people feel seen, heard, and connected. So I love doing that. But I've also noticed something interesting is that the people who get the most opportunities is not because they're working harder. They've just created a few habits that help them be seen. And those are the 4 S's that I'm going to be talking about. Excuse me, the 4 S's of visibility is first showing up. I know there's times I feel like this too. It's like you signed up for a networking event and you're going, I don't really feel like going now, but I paid the money. I better go. Oh gosh, I got to drive across town. But you need to go because you know what? Sometimes you don't feel like going to the event, but that event may need you, or just the opposite. You may need that event. You might be in a little depressed state, as Preet was mentioning. It doesn't take much nowadays. Hearing a slice of news or hearing about a friend having a trouble, whatever. It's hard to keep ourselves up sometimes, but that very networking event could be the thing that just brings you right up because you're around other people, like-minded people that want to better themselves and grow their business and so forth. So opportunities don't find people hiding behind their laptops because it's easy to hide behind our laptop. Unless you're an extrovert. Let me just see in the room. Who is I don't have it on the right view. Who is a extrovert or introvert? Who's an extrovert first? No extroverts. How about introverts? Who's the introverts? I have a special place in my heart for that because it's harder for you. Yes, you want to build your business and you should be getting out there, but it's not that easy to do. But if you want connections and referrals and partnerships and all that, you have to be in the rooms where the conversations happen. And that could be online too, but that's the showing up part. And I'm going to go a little deeper in these, but I'm just kind of just to level these 4 habits that people create that get them more visibility, more business, more relationships, more collaborations, all those things. So showing up first is the big one, and then shaking it up, being something different, not just saying, I'm an accountant, I'm an insurance agent. It's that you gotta pump that up a little bit. So we're going to talk about that is shaking it up somehow. And the third one is standing up and out. Please don't walk into a networking event and immediately go sit down. You're really missing a lot of opportunities there. But that's what some people do. And if I'm not busy setting up, like yesterday, I was feeling great because I was on time. I was set up early. I had time to mix with the people, which is what I like to do, be at the door, greeting the people when they come in. But if I'm not there, somebody might come in, check in, and go straight to the table and sit down. And I will go over and say, hey, let me get up and let me introduce you to a couple of people. Because I know right off the bat, that's a introvert. They don't know anybody. It's uncomfortable. So if you're uncomfortable, take a friend. Take a friend to your next networking event because they probably need to network also, right? The third one is stand up. And that's kind of like the other one, but really stand up in this case is really showing your expertise. It might have been mentioned here, or maybe it was yesterday in something. When we were always taught not to be bragging, or as women especially, we don't like hey, look at me, pound on your chest. So we don't tell people what we do or the expertise we have. Now there's the person that's going off and that can be arrogant, but you've got to stand up and own what you've created because you're the one that's created it. Nobody knows. You got to be telling people, contribute to the conversation, those kind of things. And then the last one, staying in touch, which is the all famous follow-up. We've probably all heard the fortunes in the follow-up, and it's probably the number one thing that's missed. You had a great conversation. I mean, raise your hand if you've ever been to a networking event. You had a great conversation with somebody. You have great intentions. You collect a bunch of cards. And then a week later, these cards are somewhere between your purse, your desk, maybe your floorboard. I don't know, or guilt. I like to say that, but not to make you feel bad, but these cards in my mind represent a gold mine. It's a gold mine that you created. And if you're not mining your gold mine, right? Like what was the point of networking? That's just random. You're not really, and that's why people sometimes don't like networking or think it's a waste of time because they're not working it the right way. They went, la, 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 they had the good time. They talked to a few people, boom, they're back at their job or whatever they're doing. So I want to show you how to have networking be a little more fun for you and valuable, because we've all heard the ROI, right? The return on investment. You're taking your time to go. You've probably spent money for the lunch or the dinner or the breakfast. You need to make it worth your while. But I think there's even one more step that's better and richer, and it's your time it takes. That's the only thing, is the return on the relationship, ROR. If you're not out there talking to people and then subsequently setting up a time to talk further, you've missed the whole boat, right? But we're all busy. We don't have the time to do it. So let's get into it a little deeper. Who wants better results from networking, right? Don't we all want better results? Well, hopefully you're networking some, or if you're not, I can encourage, by the time I finish, I can encourage you why it would be fun and why you need to show up and shake it up and stand out and stay in touch. Okay. So back to the first one, showing up. You can't build relationships, credibility, or opportunities if people never see you. It's just kind of simple, right? And then we might feel guilty that we're staying at home, but I want to get that project done. I want to get it done. I understand. I do too. I had to really take a look at my networking time. Last May that I left a particular networking thing I was doing. I was in 3 chapters and I was the VP of 3 chapters. And meanwhile, I'm running my own 2 networking events every month, a luncheon every month, and what I call a coffee conversations, which is somewhere we're listening maybe to a speaker, or we're shopping, or we're something. Like next month, it's a clothes swap. This month, it was called Emotional Reset. And it was a gal with oils talking about different things we could do to calm ourselves, and not kind of like Preet, but everybody loved it. I only had about 15 people there, but it didn't matter. Those intimate groups are just as good as large. Big isn't always better, right? But again, if you're not there, you're not experiencing any of this stuff. So I love all those opportunities. Showing up means attending events, participating in the communities, raising your hand. That was great. Whoever raised their hand right after Preet's talk, when you have the opportunity, and being present where your ideal connections already gather. Maybe it's a chamber. Maybe it's an association or organization of the work that you do. Those are all like-minded people. But 17 years ago, I, for some reason, found the senior care professionals. These are people who run assisted livings, home healthcare agencies, big, what do you call these places that, that have memory care and all this? I mean, there's a lot of people in that industry. Maybe you've never even heard of it or thought of it. But I thought, hey, what I do, not only networking, I've also been a Legal Shield agent for 27 plus years. And that's how I started Women Make a Difference, honestly. I needed an audience, but it couldn't always be about me. So it's morphed into a lot of things. But along the way, I've met a lot of people. I happened to go to this association meeting for senior care professionals. And I've been networking with some of those people for 17 years now. So relationships can go back so far. Once you go, so I had to eliminate some of my networking, because back to what I was starting to say, the timing I was taking for all the networking, it's great, but then you don't have the time to follow up and further your programs and write your content and all those. If you've ever read the book E-Myth, Diane, have you ever read that book? Where it's just like, yeah, you can't do everything. You've got to figure out how you can still work on your business, but not just work in your business, but on your business. So the key message for showing up is that opportunity favors the visible. The person that keeps showing up is the person that's getting the business, the person that's furthering themselves. And it's fun. I mean, I think networking is fun. So attending networking events consistently is a key. You can just, have an intention. I'm going to start May 1st, and I'm going to attend at least 2 networking events a month. Maybe you're already doing this. I'm kind of speaking to the person who is afraid to get out, They don't know where to go, what to go. There's so many things you can look up on Facebook for meetups. Of course, the chambers, women's organizations. Google women's networking in your area, whatever. I pop up hopefully for women's networking in Albuquerque is where I live. Volunteer, contribute, engage. That's really don't be a wallflower when you do go to something. Be seen in the rooms where the decisions and the connections happen. And that's all it is. You just need to show up. I went, believe it or not, years ago to an NAACP meeting. Of course, I was the only white woman there, but because I'm sharing Legal Shield with people, something I really have a passion for, I thought, well, this might be an opportunity for me. The people loved it that I was there, that I was brave enough to go. So, put yourself out there, show up. That's the bottom line, show up. Visibility begins with showing up, but if people can't or don't see you, they can't refer you. That's really the big thing. I'm not telling you to show up just for the heck of it. It's really show up so that people know to refer you. And then that kind of leads into shake it up. The next one, the next S of visibility is once you're in the room, you don't want to blend in with everybody else. As I was mentioning before, you don't want to be the insurance agent, the banker. Like, what makes you stand out? You got to have something compelling so people will remember you, for one, but also will be able to refer you. I have people calling. I feel like I'm the national information booth, which is not a bad idea because it feels good to be able to help people with other resources. But somebody might, and this has actually happened, would call me up and say, I attended one of your luncheons a few months ago, maybe it was last fall, and there was a lady there with long brown hair that did such and such. And I'm thinking, wow, well, luckily I keep my list and I can usually figure it out. But to me, that means, that person wasn't paying attention enough, but the person they're looking for wasn't memorable enough, right? They didn't stick out enough for the person to remember them. So shaking it up is, again, you don't want to blend in. Most people introduce themselves the same way. I'm so-and-so. I work for the Bank of Albuquerque. So really, I hate to, that sounds rude, but you don't say so out loud. It's just like, okay, that's nice. And you don't want people doing that to your introduction of yourself. That's nice. That was like one of the worst comments you could get. You want them to ask for more. Wow, that's interesting. Can we talk about that more? Let's schedule coffee so we can get to know each other better. And I really want to know about that program you're talking about or whatever it is. So our mentor, Diana and I, Forbes, has a formula that I've adopted into part of my framework as well. And it's so simple. It's 3 words. I'm known as the master connection expert. And then you need to follow it up with a because. Why are you known as that? What is your social proof or your credibility that you're known as that? Why are you known as that? I'm known as your master connection expert because I've been hosting and producing quality networking events for over 25 years. And I've learned a thing or two. I like to be a joke in there, like the farmer's agent. I've learned a thing or two after 25 years. So now what I'm up to is teaching other people like you how to get more ROI and ROR, return on relationship, from their networking efforts. That's a lot more juicy than I have a networking event. Maybe you want to come to it. So shake it up a little bit with some energy, some creativity, and clarity to what you do. You don't want to ask somebody, you don't want somebody to say what they do, and you have to be guessing what it is or ask more questions. You can ask more questions in one-on-one, of course, but that first thing that you're going to get out of your mouth is something that is clear, understandable, hopefully referable, and makes that person want to know more and ask and say yes if they can. You don't always get the yes, but to really tell you more. Asking better questions. I'm a question asking fool, so this does not come hard to me. But if you are somebody who's like, oh my gosh, what do I say? There's so many. You can ask about their family. How did they come about what they are doing now? Diane, how did you come about doing retreats? You mentioned you had a whisper. That's cool. I want to know more about that. See, that was engaging that she said that. because you want to know, kind of whisper, what do you mean? Like that. So, again, you don't want to be flat. And there's so many people. Just think about the last networking event you went to. And I guarantee you there was somebody that says, I'm a financial planner with Edward Jones. I'm a realtor with Keller Williams. It just leaves like nothing because we all know what that is. There was nothing engaging to make you even want to know them more necessarily, right? So bringing enthusiasm in your personality, of course, that helps. And being curious instead of transactional. I always like that phrase. I don't remember who said it. Maybe Jim Rohn. I love him as a motivational speaker, is be more interested than interesting. If you're interested, that means you're listening. If you're interesting, you're yapping on yourself, right? And that's okay too sometimes. But we really got to watch that. So being curious about that other person is cool. So if you sound like everyone else, others won't remember you. That kind of hurts, right? You don't want to sound like everyone else. That's the message there. Okay, the third S for visibility is standing up and out. And this is really about authority and confidence. Standing up means positioning yourself as someone who knows something valuable. If I could just ask for a show of hands now. I don't have my screen the right way to see gallery so I can see this. Once I said my little commercial there, I'm Val Romero. I'm known as a master connection expert. After producing and hosting quality networking events over 25 years, I learned a thing or two, and I love helping people get more ROI and ROR from their networking efforts. Would anybody here say, I want to know more about that? When's your next event? Raise your hand. Right? It's a little more engaging. We don't have very many cameras on. So all who's, thank you, Diane. You got your virtual hand raised. I love that. So it's not just about handing out business cards. You do not want to go to an event and just walk up to everybody and here's my card without any kind of introduction. That is a no-no in my mind, because why do I want to have your card? I mean, just because you sell cash registers or something, for me, I like everyone's card because I can get them to come to my event, and I can also talk to them about Legal Shield. Not all on the same thing, but this is why I could talk to anybody. But just somebody handing you their card means nothing because you just don't have a connection with them. So that's not something you do. It's just run around and hand somebody all your business cards. You share ideas and discussions. You offer resources. You offer your idea about that. If you're someone who's shy and introverted and you just don't know how to get into a conversation, walk up to a group of people who are standing there talking. You don't have to walk in, but you kind of stand on the edge of the circle and watch this magic happen. The circle kind of opens up because people are nice. Generally, they want to include other people, but we think, oh, they're talking about something I don't know. No, they open up and you don't even have to ever say anything. They might refer to you and then you're going to say, hey, I'm so-and-so, but don't be that person that's just sitting down. You need to kind of make yourself stand up and stand out, right? Don't go just sit down. You can speak and teach and facilitate. There's all kinds of things. I know one of our speakers today said he's really good with one-on-ones. Most of us are, but it's good to develop the skill to do other things so that you have your words when it comes to time somebody calls on you for a commercial and you weren't ready, or all those things. Incredibly important just to be ready. Offering insights and resources, as I said, and be willing to lead a conversation. I mean, it doesn't always have to be about work. We're human, right? So networking isn't all work, work, work. It's about being a human and interesting, and so that people want to talk to you. People can't value your expertise if you hide it. So again, we don't always want to be the one saying, me, I'm this, but there are ways you can do that. And it really all has to do with showing up, because then people get to know you and all kinds of things come from there. The last one is staying in touch. I think this is the one people miss out on the most. And I didn't realize this until I started doing some studying myself. I like to be the first person. It's a game I play. If I've met somebody new and I have their card, I want to be the first one to follow up. it's just kind of fun. You could take this on yourself because people don't follow up. Have you noticed this? This is like an overall thing. You meet great people somewhere and there's not, I mean, it just kind of goes flat, but you have to be the one to make it happen. You can't wait for them. Maybe it was someone you're thinking, I would never do business with that person. Not because of the person. I'm sorry. They're doing something that is not something I need right now or whatever. You need to be, this is how you get to be known as, yeah, I've been doing this, my networking, Women Make a Difference that Diane mentioned, 25 years. In fact, we just celebrated 25 years in last September with a big event. I don't know why I did this huge event. It was great, about killed me, but I was celebrating myself basically for keeping a group together all this time. And I'm still going strong, but I like the idea. I've created another little site for it, value networking off my name to teach these things that are so important about networking. Everybody knows how to show up for an event. A chamber event, I don't know why I keep saying chamber. I don't really go to chamber events. You got to find the niche in your town that is for you, whether it's all the same kind of people. I mean, it's amazing to me in the senior care industry, they all meet and they're all the same kind of people, but they still, they do business with each other and they move jobs a lot too, which is interesting. But I can talk to them about networking. I can talk to them about Legal Shield. It's just kind of cool just to be, so you're not necessarily just in your industry. You got to get out of your own industry and get into somewhere else where you can make a splash about what you do with other people. So most people meet someone, it's great, and then nothing, flatline, right? You had a great conversation and all that, but where does it go from there? The relationship fades. Staying in touch is really where the ROI comes in, the return on relationship. It takes time though. I'm not going to lie. That's maybe why people don't want to do it. We're all busy doing what we're doing to make our living, right? But you've got to have those relationships in there. So when it's time to call on someone else, you've got that person, or you're the person they're calling. Say, do you know someone who can't? That makes you look so good. In my mind, it does. It's like I used to say, I'm the national information booth. It's not quite that bad, but a couple of times a week or a few times a week, maybe somebody say, hey, do you know who that person is? Can you get me in touch with that person that talked about so-and-so? And I mean, I instantly know who it is, but I just do have that gift of, from God, of great memory for names, dates, and faces, which is very helpful. My family made fun of me for it. Like, you're always remembering that. Well, it serves well in business because people can say, you remember that girl with the dark hair? She kind of wearing that yellow dress or whatever. I go, yeah, that was so-and-so. It's kind of a cool thing. But I'm known for remembering people and making them feel good. That's a great thing. So the networking is just, kind of a cherry on top of being able to help people reach other people. Like I'm the phone book kind of, right? But I mean, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not suggesting that you are, but you pay attention to who, when you're staying in touch, that you get somebody's business card and you send them a message. It could be so short. You can make templates for yourself. Great meeting you, and then you personalize it that a little bit. I have programs that I do for that. I'm helping people with this kind of thing. But a thoughtful follow-up email goes so far. You be the one that starts that. Don't wait for the one yourself. You be the one. Adding contacts to your system. Is everybody doing that? You meet somebody and you add somebody. That's incredibly important because who are you going to talk to when you're trying to tell them about something you have going? I've created a huge database over these 25 years of Women Make a Difference. This is my networking. We have a luncheon every month, and we have what I call a coffee conversation every month, and they're the same. It's the second Friday and the third Thursday. I keep it the same because people, they don't remember. Even after all these years, I have to still say, because people don't remember. You got to just, put yourself out there. But a thoughtful email goes so far. If you didn't get their email, you don't have any way to communicate. So the whole idea of going to an event, collecting the cards, do something with them. Even if it's just that first hello, it was great meeting you. But put them in your system. Google Contacts is the best one. That's another thing we can go off on. There's so much free software. I kind of say I'm old school. I do it old school, but everybody know. I mean, I'm kind of known in my town. I live in Albuquerque, New Mexico. If somebody wants to know, it's like, who's that person, so and so, and I will actually remember who that is. So it's a great superpower to have. Not everybody has that, but you can be thoughtful in your own way with just that follow-up message. Hey, it was great meeting you at that event last week. Let's get together. If you want to get together with that person, that takes time. I know we're all busy. Nurturing those relationships to get to know someone and know what they do and make them feel important. That's your gold mine right there. It's a real gold mine. So adding contacts to your system, your organized system. I mean, every time you come home from something, an event or wherever you were, put them in your network, in your, what am I saying? Your where you hold all your database of people. It can be in Google, Gmail. I don't know. You don't have to make it hard. You don't have to get a software necessarily. But that initial follow-up message, I like to be the first one. Hey, it was great meeting you at the so-and-so. And you can make yourself templates for these. You don't have to think of the words every time. It's just the act of doing it is so valuable. You wouldn't believe how you get known, how people think of you from a thoughtful email that you sent after you met someone. But if you've never put them in your system, you don't have a way of doing that. So you can create groups where you have, met at the chamber, met at the so-and-so luncheon, met at Forbes. I have my whole label, they call it, for people I met in the Forbes community. That's where I met Diane. And so I know I can call, all the people I've met there, everybody I meet, I instantly, it's like a game for me. You can gamify it. Get it in your system because you never know when you're going to need to call on that person or ask them for something or invite them to something. Right. Very valuable. Get your database. So you can check in later. But I like to do it within 48 hours. That's just my thing. So networking doesn't happen at the event. You believe that? Networking doesn't happen at the event. It happens after the event when you follow up, get to know somebody a little better. So if you want real results from networking, you've got to remember these 4 S's. Does anybody remember? Show up. Shake it up. Stand up. And stay in touch. If you'd like to get my how to to stop being the best kept secret in the room, they're going to put my link up in there. I have a little mini guide called the 5 mistakes that keep you being the best kept secret and how to fix them. What you do is important. You've spent maybe a lifetime or at least some time pulling yourself together to do what you do. But if you're the best kept secret, nobody's going to know, right? So I'd love to talk to you more. Maybe this little mini guide will help you quit being the best kept secret. And Diane, thanks so much for the opportunity. Really appreciate that.
Well, let's give it up for Val. Val, I'm so excited about your presentation because it reminded me so much about back in the day. I'm going back, I think, 25 years ago when I started a multi-level marketing business, and and all of the lessons learned there. So, and which is what I'm going back to applying in my business now. And I made a commitment while you were speaking. I'm going to find 2 events, 2 networking events that I'm going to attend in May. And I'm going to, yeah. So I'm so glad you brought that up because now I'm really more committed, So thank you for bringing that on.
You can just set one little intention. I'm going to go to one networking event in May. I was going to, I did a little time dive recently, last month, I think. And I said, how much time am I spending on networking? I mean, my own 2 that I have to produce are like, forget it. Like there's hours and hours in that. It's kind of crazy because I'm a very detail oriented person. That has served me well. Now it's starting to drive me crazy. As I get older, it's like, does that really have to be that perfect? Well, I like things to be nice, but if you're not going to anything, you're not meeting new people. You're not, and there's a fair amount you can do online. After COVID, I was at a country club from, oh, I don't know the years, but it was 192 events in a row. Let's say, and I just got tired of being at that country club and I left, but I'm going to say uh, June of '02, it was 16 years to June of 18. I can't believe that now that I had the stamina to produce an event every month. And the people that kept coming are the people that are doing business with each other, right? The people that come sporadically, they may, but there's something about consistent networking. But I do other networking also because I like it so much. So I took a look at the time of networking, and I was spending 14 hours a month at networking events. Some people aren't even doing one. I'm doing the three I was running and my own two. Like that's too much. I'm not suggesting that, but I'm encouraging you to at least put one on your calendar, as Diane's saying, or two. They're all over the place. You can find so many. And here I was serving another one, being a VP and building their business until honestly, I came to Factor last April, and that program wasn't anything, Diane, about changing your business or anything like that. It was more internal. I'm thinking, but I got the bug after that. I was like, why am I helping somebody else build theirs? Let me build mine that I've been building for 25 years. So after that, I put on a big gala for myself in September, celebrating my 25 years of Women Make a Difference, making a difference for women in business and some men to get themselves out there and network. It's incredibly important, not just because I say so. Experts say this as well.
But thank you so much. But this has been a blast. Thank you. And I know I see Drew is waiting in the wings, and we're excited to bring him on. And Val has put her information. It's in the chat, and to get that PDF, and also it will be in the replay email. So all of the free gifts will be in the replay. So check your email. So now so Olga, is there anything I need to know before we go on? Can we take a little bit of about a 30-second, 90 seconds and share a little bit about what we do at our retreat? I just want to talk a little bit, because after Drew is done, that's going to be it. I'm going to ask for a little grace. We may go over a little over, maybe about 5 minutes. Okay. But I just want to share with you that my retreat, Ascend Mind, Body, and Soul, is coming up May of 2027. So which is almost 12 months out. And it's going to be in Costa Rica. We did it last September, and it was just a blast. Costa Rica is so amazing. And this is just a short video, a reel on what it's like to be at our retreat.
Wow.
And I would love for you to attend. So if you want to learn more about it, reach out to me and to get the information.
It is the most beautiful thing that I've ever seen. There are just no words to describe the nature here. Between the birds and the animals, the plant life is just amazing. There's something new every way you turn. The food is amazing. It's absolutely amazing. And most importantly, it's beautiful. The staff here takes their time, and they just make every meal that they bring out to you look as beautiful as they possibly can. We were able to do the neurographics class, which was my absolute favorite. I am extremely crafty, and so it was just impeccable for me, and I'm going to take that home. And then we had, Dr. Joe's teachings as well, which was an amazing thing to learn. And just every single thing that we got to do here was just a fantastic learning experience for us individually. And we all learned something different.
Well, thank you for sharing that, Olga. So, May of 20, it will be here before you know it. It's a year out. So now is a great time to really set up a payment plan. And like I said, it's all inclusive. And now we have the option to go vegetarian or vegan. And I don't know, I think we might stick, because the only thing they add in is eggs. But I think the food is so delicious. Okay, so a friend of ours, he just hosted his a couple weeks ago. And he said, hands up, the food is just amazing.
as usual. And also we have our next anthology is where we're working on that now. That's in the works. Our celebrity author is AC Caswell, who was here back in February. Him and his wife Deidre. So if you want to be a part of that anthology, also you can reach out to me to be a part of that. Okay, so it's nothing like having nowhere to. We're gonna have to start calling ourselves the best-selling gurus, Olga, because we've learned the art of selling, having best-selling books. So we did two last month, and they both went Amazon #1 bestsellers. Okay, so this one is going to be pretty much the same. And if you want to do your solo book, here we are, Ascend Publishing. Okay, we can help you with your solo book. So with that, I'm gonna introduce my dear friend Drew Mack, and I want to tell you a little bit about Drew. I met Drew. God, it got to be. I don't know how long ago it's been. It's
A year and
probably
a half,
about
2 years.
2 years ago, two and a
Yeah,
half
for
years
2 years.
ago.
Yeah.
Okay, and Drew is so amazing. He's always has that smile. He don't feel uncomfortable in a room with just women. He just he just blends. He just brings that energy. Okay, and I just want to say a little bit about the work that he does. Okay, Drew Mack is a former engineering professional turned financial empowerment advocate who blends analytical precision with a passion for people. After 25 years in Canada's corporate aerospace sector, serving as a test engineer and operations supervisor, he developed a reputation for discipline, adaptability, strategic thinking, and risk management. Today, he channels those strengths into helping individuals and families build financial clarity and confidence. His topic today is the shift, the circuits from circuits to security. The shift from circuits to security. Let's welcome to our virtual stage my dear friend, Drew Mack.
Wow. Wow. That was wow. A moment there I was wondering who you're talking about. That introduction was pretty impressive. Thank you for that. And it's amazing to be on this platform today. Val, your presentation was on point. I love what you shared, showing up, standing up, shake it up, and staying in touch. Perfect segue to what I am about to share today. And it's great being here. Thank you for having me, Diane. You guys are amazing. So I promise not to be long. I'm just going to, we'll get you out of here by 12. Promise. Okay. So let me take you back to a time when I had no plan. Fresh out of high school, I wasn't one of those people who had life all figured out. I didn't have a vision board like what we have now, and I didn't have a roadmap. I didn't know where I was going to go. So three opportunities were available to us when we graduated. I went to a school in a small town, a Mennonite town, in a beautiful place here in Canada called Niagara-on-the-Lake. So usually when you graduate, you have three options. Number one, you go to teacher's college, you go to Bible college, or you work on the farm. Now, my dad made it known that my son will not be working on the farm. So that wasn't an option. Option two, college, Bible college or teacher's college. No, I didn't want to be a teacher, right? And I wasn't too sure I wanted to go to Bible college either. But what I had a friend who had the same drive like what I did. And that friend made a decision that would shape my life. He registered me for engineering program in Toronto. Just like that. I didn't choose engineering. Engineering chose me. And what started as a default decision turned into a 25-year career in the aerospace industry. See, I built my career as a test engineer, developing a reputation for precision, discipline, and execution. That career took me across the world, been to Germany, Italy, Singapore, Malaysia, Holland, solving problems in high-stake environment. When the customer call, when there's an AOG, meaning aircraft down, I was required to travel there to mitigate that problem. Eventually, it did pretty well. Eventually, I stepped into leadership, managing 2 departments with up to 23 people reporting directly to me. So from the outside, it looked like success. And I will admit, it was, right? It was. Young guy from humbly beginning, working in corporate Canada in a leadership role. That is a major blessing, and I'm grateful for the opportunity. Grateful. The first in my family to have gotten a university degree, major success. So I'm grateful. I will not take that for granted. But behind the scene, something was shifting. I started to feel disconnected, not from the work. The work was good, but from the purpose. The leadership above me lacked vision. Decision lacked clarity. And I found myself leading others, but no longer being led. I know how one of my colleagues who I used to work with on the call right now, she could attest to that. And I began to ask myself a dangerous question. Is this me? Is this right? Is this real? Is this it? Because I had the title, supervisor, engineering team. I had the income. I had the stability, but I did not have fulfillment. Now, here's something important. My shift into finance did not start when I left engineering. It started years ago. I remember back in 2003, I made a decision that would quietly change everything. I got licensed in the insurance and investment industry. Why? Not as a career move, but as a plan B. You see, at that point in my life, back in 2003, I was finally earning a stable income. My career looked good, promising. And for the first time, I started thinking seriously about money. Not just earning it, but understanding it. And remember, my colleagues always talk about Nortel was big at the time. They're selling stocks, buying stock. And here I am, had no clue what they were talking about. But I knew I wanted to get involved in that. I wanted to know, how do I invest properly? How do I save strategically? How do I build wealth? How do I reduce taxes? Because those of you guys in Canada know we do pay a lot of taxes here. And more importantly, how do I make sure no one ever take advantage of me financially or my parents? That was engineering me, I must admit. I needed to understand the system. So I got licensed, not to sell, but to learn. And what started as a curiosity turned into competency. So years after year, I maintained my license through continuous education and training. While I was building my engineering career, I was also quietly building financial knowledge in the background. At the time, I didn't realize it, but I was preparing for a moment that I had not yet arrived. Then September 2025, last year, after 25 years in the company, I was called in the office. And just like that, it was over. I was fired. 25 years of my life I've given a company, just like that, fired. And here's the truth. That moment that was meant to break me did not break me. Actually, it freed me. My colleagues, my direct report, they were more upset than I was. Because then I had already outgrown that vision of myself. And for the first time, I wasn't asking, why now? I was saying, Drew, it's time. Time to step fully into what I had been preparing for all along. And that when I embrace my identity as, ready for it, financial matchmaker. Now let me explain what that means. Some of you might be smiling. Financial matchmaker, what does that have to do with engineering? Let me explain what that means, because it's more than a title. Think about a traditional matchmaker. Someone comes and they're looking for a life partner. The matchmaker does not just introduce random people, right? They start with a discovery. They ask, who are you? What do you value? What are your goals? What kind of future are you looking for? What are your love languages? Your age? They create a profile. And then they go and find a match. Not just any match, but the right match. Someone who aligns, someone who complements you, someone who helps create the life that person desires. That's exactly what I do, but in the financial space. As a financial matchmaker, I don't start with products. I start with you, people. I sit down with individuals, family, and business owners, and I ask deeper questions. What does financial security mean to you? What are you protecting? What are you building? Where do you want to go? Where do you see yourself financially 5 years, 10 years? What legacy do you want to leave for your family? Then I build a profile. I look at your income, responsibility, risk exposure, goals, long-term vision. Because here's the truth. There is no one-size-fits-all financial solution. None. But too many people are being sold that. They're given products instead of being matched with strategies. So my goal is to bridge that gap, to connect people with the right financial partners, tools, and solutions that aligns with your life. That's where my engineering mindset comes alive. When I'm sitting down, putting precision, analysis, risk management together. I don't guess. Engineers do not guess. I assess. I don't push. I match. And what I ultimately deliver isn't just a policy or investment. What I deliver, peace of mind, protection, confidence. Because when your finances are aligned with your goals, you move differently, you think differently, you live differently. And for me, that's the most rewarding part of this journey, because I'm no longer just solving technical problems. I'm helping people solve life problems. I'm helping family build securities. I'm helping individuals move from confusion to clarity, from stress to strategies, from uncertainty to confidence. And when I look back now, I see it clearly. Engineering was not the mistake. It wasn't the mistake. It was my training ground. It's the discipline, the structure, the mindset that I needed to be who I am today. Even getting licensed in 2003, that wasn't random. That was preparation for this moment. So if you're in a place where you feel stuck or unfulfilled or like something is missing, I ask you to pay attention to that, because that might be your shift, your signal that you're being called to something greater. Your background is not your limitation. It's your foundation. And sometimes what feels like an ending, like my job, it was actually releasing my purpose from circuit to security. My purpose from circuit to security. Thank you for allowing me to share with you today. I have an offer for you, everyone who attended today, that is going to help you identify where your gaps are. Create a profile for you. It is free, and I'm going to have Diane share that with you guys. So thank you for allowing me to share. Hope you get some value from what I shared today, and it's been an honor.
Well, let's give it up for Drew. Man, that was powerful. Listen, now is the perfect time. We're never behind. We're always on time. And when you talked about, so you talked a bit. So anyone who have a question for Drew, so put it in the chat. We're gonna put you can raise your reactive hand, or you could, ask the question in the chat. But Drew, you said something that was so powerful that really stood out for me. And it's don't guess, assess. I mean, that is, I gotta say for myself. I have friends who could say by down to the penny, they balance their checkbook. Me, not so good, and so I'm always, rounding it up or rounding it down. And it's really great because what you kind of reminded us of or reinforced what Val just said was return on relationships, the ROI. And that was really great because the whole fact is you got to build the relationships first. And I just, just to tell you a quick story that just happened last month. Someone reached out to me via our email, and they wanted me to say, would you speak on our on my summer? They had something coming up, and I said, oh, absolutely, I definitely will. So we were supposed to meet, and the day we were supposed to meet, I saw the meeting was canceled, and I was like, well, I don't know what happened, but okay. And so going back, they left a message to say, oh, your so one of the questions they ask, how large is your contact list? Now, here Val talked about that contact list, right? Okay, you're in business, that's so important. That's like your security there. So I intentionally lowballed it. Okay. So the cancellation was, and they didn't have no shame about saying, okay, I know. They could have said, well, I'm unable to make it or whatever. They said, you're not a perfect fit because your list is too small. And I said, ooh, that's quite interesting. So going back again, so it wasn't about the it was all about being transactional. It wasn't about being relational. And that's the space I come from, building relationships. So if you want to keep it transactional, I'm not your gal. So what you said just reminded me of that. And I just want to say, anyone who's in this space, you got to build the relationships.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So is there any questions for Drew? And I guess by now they should have that
Yes.
the
So
QR code
yeah.
Olga, so we can stop sharing.
Yeah. So the QR code, if you need to connect with me, here you can create a profile. Just remember, I'm a matchmaker. So by clicking on this, you can see profile of if you want to get into savings, right? What are the characteristics of a savings account, right? Just like I'm a man looking for a female. What are the characteristics of a female that I really want? So go here. A wealth of information you can find. If you want to book an appointment with me, you can also go there, book an appointment, and we can talk about it. Okay.
Yes, and you're also going to get this in the replay, which will be out by next Friday. The replay email will be out, so you'll also get the QR code. Okay, so now Drew did such a fantastic job. Let me look at this chat to see what's going on here. Uh, oh, those are the links. It's about relationships, yes. I saw someone have posted something earlier. So if anyone has a question for Drew, it's all about financial literacy, right? And I'm really excited because of the fact that I started listening to someone and the whole key is about keeping your finances straight. And I think this is why I have a passion for kids because they don't teach this stuff in school. And
Yeah.
I think that's where it starts.
Yeah, and there's something that I want to just give to everyone as a form. We all know your credit score, right? People really know what your credit score is. But do you know what your wealth score is? Right? So your credit score, what it does, it tells lenders how well you manage debt. Your wealth score reveals how strong your wealth and protection truly are, so you can take control with confidence and secure what matters most. So this is a 3-minute assessment. The barcode is right here. Populate it. You'll get a report sent to your email. You'll also have an option there if you want to have a conversation with me so we can review what you have. You can click book a meeting with me, or we can go from there. 2 options. You can just get your report, understand where you are, understand your profile, and you're good to go. Or you know what, Drew, I understand where I am. This is where I am. This is what I'm looking for. Find me a match to improve my current state. Book an appointment, and we can go from there. Okay? So this is my gift to you for showing up today.
I'm trying. I don't know if anybody was anyone able to. Yeah, I think I am not
You're not
sure.
able to get the code?
I'm not sure if I'm able to scan it. Okay, can you? Okay, let me see. No, that's not it. It's not scanning. I'm using my camera. Is anyone having difficulty scanning the QR code?
It's working. It's working for
It's
me.
working? Okay. Maybe it's on
Diane, we
my.
have a couple of questions in the chat.
Absolutely.
Okay.
So
What's
the
the
first
first one?
question is, should older people invest?
Absolutely. Depends on what you want. Like what I say, as a financial match, I'm meeting with you. Okay, what's your long-term goal? What do you want? Right? What's the meaning for your investment? What do you want to achieve? And based on that, um, if investment is the right option for you at this stage in your life, that's what we will do. Right? So it cannot just be a general question. Should older people invest? What's the ultimate goal? What is it that we're trying to achieve? Just like asking me, should a whole person seek love? Should they want to date? Right? Depends on the ultimate goal. What do they want out of dating? Right?
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
And then Alethea is asking, can you share one strategy that helps us start to save? I find people say they don't have extra.
Oh, so what's important to you? What's important? One strategy to help you start, pay yourself first. Look at
Mm-hmm.
this as pay yourself first. If
Mm-hmm.
you work 10 hours a day, say, you know what, the first 2 hours that I'm working for myself. So that money is going to pay me, right? So you taught that away. So that's one strategy I'll recommend you do first. Make sure you take care of you, your number one asset.
We have
Alethea?
another question. Mm-hmm.
No, I think I am retired. Is it too late to begin financial security? From
Absolutely
Teresa.
not. Absolutely not. It's like saying, I'm so old, I'm 80. Is it too late for me to find love? No, it's not. It's never too late. Never too late. And that's the reference that I bring. I compare it to relationship. It's your relationship with money, your relationship with wealth, right? How do you want that relationship to manifest? How do you want it to show up? right? Because we all have a relationship with money. We all have a relationship with wealth. We have a relationship with love, with individual. If you treat it as a part of you, as a relationship, then your perception and how money and how wealth is created is totally different.
I think I saw something from Sandra Smith. I can't locate it earlier.
She said, where would you say it starts? I'm not sure what she's referring to. Maybe.
Yeah, if I understood it correctly, to start by you first, just create a profile. What is it that you want? And the wealth score that I just posted is a perfect way to start because it gives you a baseline where you're at, what things that you value, where you can start, and from that we can build onto that, where you need to be, where you need to go.
This is such great information. Thank you so much. And I love the answer,
Thank
pay
you.
yourself first.
Yeah.
And going back, I just love teaching this stuff, to have the opportunity to teach it to kids, you know, so pay yourself first. I was listening to someone that said we need to live on 70% of our income, so it's pay yourself first, pay your 10% first, pay yourself 10%, invest 10%, and give 10%, and live on 70. So, I mean, but pay yourself first. Yes.
Yeah.
And that could be automatic, right?
Yes.
It could be
Yeah.
automatic.
Connect with me, reach out, book a meeting. No obligation. We just have a conversation. Book a meeting with me. Can talk more about it.
But thank you. I just want to say thank you to all of our guests and all of you who've been present today. And again, I don't take this lightly. Okay, I just want to thank you so much. Thank you, Val. Thank you, Drew. And Preet said to make sure and tell everyone that she's no longer on meds. She's been off any psychiatric meds. She just wanted to make sure we had that clear. And I'm so excited for each and every one the journey that you're going on. And Val been in this for a while, and Drew, you've been in preparation mode, and now the opportunity has arisen, and now you're working it. So yes, Ascend Your Path is of there's spots available. Okay, so if you want to be back on this platform, whether you've been here before, I know you want to come back, or you've never been and you want to come, it's a safe space for you to come and share your message because we're all here with a message. Okay, so and I always hear Les Brown in my ear saying, "Your message is not for you; it's for somebody else." Okay, so I just want to say thank you to everyone who joined us again, and the replay will be out by next Friday. And I love you all. See you next month. We have an amazing another 3 people coming on. Okay, thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
Don't leave. Let's take a picture, group picture. Okay, let me see the gallery view first.
Thank you, Diane, so much.
Your photo frame is now displaying.
I don't know what that was. Hold on. I want to see everybody. Gallery. Perfect. If you can come on camera, and let's take that picture of happy people. Okay.
Thank you. Thank
Ready?
you, Olga.
Ready? 1, 2, 3. Perfect. Nice. Thank you.
Appreciate you guys.
See you next month. Bye.